Hello, good morning, and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. We have two American blended whiskeys. This is Bay Street Blended American Whiskey, introduced in 2010. No age statement, 80-20 blend ratio. Okay, 80-20 blend ratio, meaning 80% grain spirits, 20% straight whiskey. It's produced and bottled in Florida. Florida, nothing says whiskey like Florida, by Florida Caribbean Distillers. Now, that distillery was opened in 1943, but I think it was called Seagrams Distillery, like Seagrams, Florida Distillery. And then that company went out of business in the year 2000. So this is owned by independent company today, Florida Caribbean Distillers. Now you might say, no, you're wrong. Seagrams didn't go out of business. I bought Seagrams ginger ale just yesterday. The brands exist. When the company went out of business, different people came and bought up the rights to their recipes and brands and even their distilleries. Like the Seagrams Distillery in Indiana is owned by Midwest Grain Products today, okay? MGP. Joe Hill says, Thunder and Thursday or Fandango Friday this week? Back to Fandango Friday, thankfully. Thanks for asking. No age statement, which means what? That it has to be at least, by law, 4 years old. So the straight whiskeys in this product are at least 4 years old. Now the grain spirits are unaged. That's why they're raw. They're filtered, but they're raw, unaged grain spirits. They take corn, distill it into pure alcohol, 190 proof. They water it down with tap water to 80 proof, blend it with 80 proof bourbon, and there you go. But remember, it has to be at least 20%. 20% of the volume has to be straight whiskey, or it would be called spirit whiskey. That's another class. They do sell products called spirit whiskey, but I don't have any of those, but I know where to get them, but I don't have any. Okay. This is Iron Wheel, introduced in 2019. There's an essay on the side of the bottle about the importance of the iron wheel in agriculture in the United States. Age 3 years, and it's a higher percentage of straight whiskey. 25% straight whiskey, 75% grain neutral spirits. You can tell who makes it because that's obviously a Buffalo Trace bottle. If you get ancient age straight bourbon or ancient age 10 star or McAfee's benchmark, they use the same bottle. Okay. Make sure I got my tags right. Yep. All right. $8.99 for that bottle. $8.99. Now the better deal is this: $13.99 for the whole 1,750 milliliters. I got an extra 1,000 milliliters for only $5 more. Yes, Caribbean Distillers does make straight bourbon, but we do not get it in Louisiana to my knowledge. They make a lot of flavored whiskeys. They make a lot of rums, flavored rums. They make those flavored wine specialty items like Capriccio, very popular. All right. Are most vintage beer glasses 7 or 8 ounce glasses? I've come across some vintage Hams and other Miller glasses, and most seem to be around that size. I really don't know. I've gotten them from all different sizes, pints to 10 ounce. A lot of them are like 11.2 ounce or 11. I don't know. You're asking a question I cannot answer. I really just do not know. I'm not trying to blow you off. I don't know the answer. Yeah, let's calculate that. It was $13.99. I don't think that's the price now. You know what inflation? $13.99 divided by 750 times 750. Yep, $6 a bottle. If you're buying a regular bottle, but they're probably more expensive for the regular. You always come out ahead. Well, usually you come out ahead buying the handle. If you know you're going to drink it all, buy the handle. Now, if you're not sure about it, if you say, "Oh, stuff might be nasty," well, yeah, then buy the 750. Actually, buy $3.75. But usually, if it's coming from Buffalo Trace, you'd be on the safe side. Now, from Florida Caribbean Distillers, I don't know enough about them. I bought 2 products from them. So far, so good. Andrew Mason says hello. Hello to you. All right. So if you can see the appearance, you'll notice that this is like a chestnut brown, not too dark though, light copper. And this is very pale. Look at that yellow straw. So they're clearly not adding color into it. I've got some Scotch whiskey called Ardbeg 10. It was like $45. And it says on the bottle, no color added. And it's pale like this one. Nearly clear. But yellow, yellow. But yeah. Now, are they adding color into the iron wheel? I'm not sure about that. And the reason is because Sazerac's usually good about saying, meaning Buffalo Trace, Barton Distilling, Glenmore, that's all divisions of Sazerac. Sazerac Canada, Montreal Distillery. They're usually good about putting on the label with natural flavors and caramel color. They tend to do that. But on this bottle, they don't indicate that. So I'm thinking maybe they didn't add color or flavoring. It just says made with American grown corn. From the land to the bottle. From the land to the bottle. Made in Kentucky. Kentucky blended whiskey. Yes, if it says Kentucky blended whiskey, it has to be made in Kentucky. Can't just be bottled there. It has to be distilled and aged and blended in Kentucky. And it has to be all the whiskeys and grain spirits have to be from Kentucky. Okay. Now, if it says American whiskey, well, yeah, it's got to come from somewhere in America. That gives you a lot of leeway. If you're the company, most people pay no mind to that, so, but they're both American whiskeys because Kentucky is in America, right? Right there in the middle. Okay. Or close to the middle. This smells like grain alcohol. Ethanol with a little vanilla. This smells about the same. So appearance, one is very light, one has got a little color, a little darkness to it, but not much. Aroma, they're about the same. Price, yeah, $3 cheaper per bottle. So you're going to come out way ahead on the Bay Street spirits. It's worth drinking. Vanilla, oak barrel, sugar water. Honeysuckle nectar. Now, people watching this are saying, you say that every time. I know, because they always taste the same every time. Is Bay Street, I have my eyes closed because if I look down and see a very light product, I'm going to know it's Bay Street. They make Bay Street, singular. They make Bay Street rum, Bay Street gin, Bay Street vodka, Bay Street this whiskey, of course. They might have a Bay Street brandy. It's a whole line, you know what I'm saying? Which is just Sazerac does the same thing. Got Mr. Boston brandy, Mr. Boston gin, Mr. Boston rum, Mr. Boston whiskey, Mr. Boston eggnog around Christmas time. So, yeah. somebody might have, I think somebody had said, or maybe I said that to myself, is Bay Street a private label brand for Total Wine? If you check the trademark, it's assigned to Caribbean Distillers. All right. Secondly, I've seen it at other stores, not commonly, but I've seen it. I have seen Bay Street at least one other store. It's like Bandolero tequila. Always see it at Albertson. Every Albertsons in Louisiana got Bandolero dark and gold tequila. I mean, dark and silver, gold and silver tequila, and the flavored one, the spiced one. And I said, oh yeah, that's just a private label for Albertsons, Vons, Jewel Osco, Amigos, that whole big store chain. But then I'm over here at Star Liquor Store and gas station. Pure gas too, no adjuncts, no corn, no ethanol. That's a true story. They sell single malt gasoline, pure. Keep your lawnmower running fine. I used to put that mixed gasoline in my lawnmower, destroyed the engine. I had the thing 23 years. I could have had it 33 years probably without that. But now I'm only using the pure gasoline. But I saw Bandolero right there at Star, and it was at least $1 cheaper than Albertsons. So I said, well, I'm gonna buy it at Star. So how's it gonna be private label if it's at Star? The answer is it wouldn't. It would only be at Albertson stores. Okay, I've never seen Winn-Dixie liquor anywhere but Winn-Dixie in my whole life. Okay, same flavors but dull, less flavorful. Notice in none of these videos with Iron Wheel that I ever talk about something tasting nasty or disgusting or off-putting or wretched or foul or horrible or atrocious. No, I didn't. The only complaint I said, the only complaint I made was saying that was a little bland. They're a little bit bland, a little bit dull. And I think that's fair because that's what they are. And that was my whole reasoning. I said, why would I pay $8.99? You said, but that's so low. I mean, $8.99 for a bottle of liquor. I know it's low, but why would I pay $8.99 for a blended when I can go to CVS Pharmacy right there and buy Jethro T Boots, JT Boots, which is a private label. It says it on the bottle. It's got a sticker. This should only be sold at CVS Pharmacy. All right. Okay, fine. I know it's from Buffalo Trace. That's sour mash Kentucky straight bourbon. All right. Got me? Aged 3 years. For the same price. Same exact price. $8.99. So the answer is I wouldn't do it. I'd buy the straight bourbon, which to be fair isn't really more flavorful than this. I'll be honest, kind of bland itself. So you say, but it's all corn. It's all corn whiskey, essentially. That's right. Oh, they've got a little bit of rye in it, a little bit of maybe wheat, but not too much. Maybe a little bit of barley whiskey, malt whiskey, but it's not too much. If it was 90% corn, I wouldn't be shocked. All right. Yeah, it's sugary sweet. Now I'm not gonna say that it's not, but this has got to be the Caribbean Distillers because it got more flavor. And what have I learned? I hope. I think I realized that the Iron Wheel is a little bit bland. It's a little bit more than a little bit bland. It's relative. It's fairly bland. It's a fairly bland product. It's got a pretty label, but it's in the flavor department. It ain't doing too much. So let's say this is the Bay Street Spirits blended American whiskey. It is. I got it right. Too little, too late, because now I only have one taste challenge left left with the American blendeds. I've got the King Seagram 7 Crown. It will not lose. No way up. No way. Now listen carefully. There is no way I'm going to get that wrong compared to Iron Wheel. I'm gonna wait till Saturday though, but so you see this? This is your best choice if you're going to buy American. If you insist on buying American blended whiskey, and every restaurant and liquor store in the world sells it, I think. And there's a reason they sell it, because it's the best tasting one. It's the most popular one. So if you insist on buying American blended whiskey, and some people do, in fact, it's one of the top 10 selling whiskeys of any type in America. You know, Canadian, Irish, Grey Bourbon, whatever. It's in the top 10. Seagram 7 Crown. And I think it's been in the top 10 since like 1933. Oh, I'm sorry, 1934. It came on the market in 34, so it couldn't have been 33. If this thing will focus, I'll be a happy person. Let's go. Finally, this has got a brown bottle. Protects it from the light. So you want brown glass. You don't usually get it with these, but it's better. It's got a huge number 7 on it. It's got 7 crowns. It's got embossment. The glass is embossed with the 7 in the crown. It's got a notch here when you put on the rack so it doesn't roll. And it's not $8.99. It's like $13.99. But it's a lot better than the others. So it makes sense. And I've got 60% of the bottle left. Oh yeah. That's the real deal. These other whiskeys are like toys. This is a real deal. This is the real deal. So Iron Wheel better get ready, because it's about to get beat so bad Saturday morning. It's not even fun. So Buffalo Trace, I'm not going to say y'all got to do better, because they do better. You know, Buffalo Trace makes Eagle Rare. They make Weller. And regular Buffalo Trace. So yeah, I mean, they do better, but that's just one of their cheap ones they put out. But this is Seagram 7 Crown, one of the flagship whiskeys from Diageo, who bought Seagram 7 Crown from Seagrams when they went kaplooey in the year 2000. And Sazerac wanted to buy this from them, and they were like, no, we don't think so. No way, Jose. They did sell the Seagrams VO, famous Canadian whiskey, one of the top 10 selling whiskeys. Canadian whiskeys, certainly very, very popular. They sold Seagram's VO Gold to Sazerac. And they were going to get rid of VO Gold. They told me at Diageo, we're canceling it. Sales are bad, you know. Sazerac took it over and said, I don't think so. And I still see VO Gold, the 8-year age, everywhere. Sazerac brought it back from the brink of death. And look at Sazerac. They bought Early Times a few years ago, brought that back into prominence, Early Times. Now they got the Early Times bottle and bond that they pushing everywhere, the 100 proof. Shoot. They got doggone, what's that other one? Oh yeah, Southern Comfort that they brought back. They actually bought it back. Sazerac had it years ago, back in the old, and when I say old, I mean old days, like 1890s. Yeah, this is okay. But something happened, and then Brown-Forman got a hold of it, believe it or not. Jack Daniels people, Old Forester people, they were making Southern Comfort for years, but I think it went down. They just didn't do anything with it. Still a good seller. Now, I'm not saying it was unpopular, but Southern Comfort had, like, from the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. It was kind of slowly declining. So Sazerac made a deal with Brown-Forman about 8 years ago to buy Southern Comfort back. But it cost them yeah, you heard me right, $500 million, the price of like a football team at that time, 2015 prices. So, but Sazerac really put some effort into it, and it brought it. It's gotten really popular again. Like, you know, you see a lot of advertisements for Southern Comfort, white label, you know, the standard 70 proof, the 80 proof black label, and the 100 proof. I think it's the red label 100 proof. That thing will knock you out. I couldn't handle that thing. 100 proof Southern Comfort. I was like, gotta avoid that one. Now they even have Southern Comfort flavored malt beverages. They're like cocktails. Like one is like ginger ale and whiskey, and the other one is like, they're not whiskey, but they're trying to mimic the flavor. The other one is like cherry. I don't know. I can't remember, but I still see them around here at the stores in variety packs, 12 packs, made by Anheuser-Busch under contract. Are they popular? I don't get the impression that they're popular, but they're around. So I'm in Albertson Saturday. Does Sazerac produce the Seagrams wine coolers now? No. That was sold off to Genesee, Florida Ice and Farms, the parent company from Costa Rica, but Genesee Brewery in Rochester, New York, that's who makes the Seagrams. And they're not wine coolers anymore. They're just beer coolers since 1991. Actually, I don't think Seagrams was ever wine coolers. They were just made to taste like that. It was the Bartles and James that's the wine coolers. But yeah, the Seagrams Escapes. I know you're talking about Seagrams Escapes. Yeah, that's made in Rochester, New York. Seagrams Beverage Company, but it's really just a shell. It's a title because it's made by Genesee Brewing well, it's made by them for themselves because they own the rights to the Seagrams Escapes. Okay, yeah, and then they have Seagrams Escapes Spiked, the 8%, the spiked, the really strong ones, which are better. Those been showing up lately around here in the little 8-ounce cans, the little ponies. And then you can go to the convenience store and get the big 23.5-ounce Seagrams Spiked. The Jamaican Me Happy 8%. I wouldn't drink too much of that though. You're gonna get really Good morning, Ron. Checking in, says WC Beer Reviews. Oh, good morning to you. Well, take care, y'all. And I got it right, but honestly, Iron Wheel does not cut the mustard. Bay Street Spirits was better, and it is so not well known. You say, well, you just did a taste challenge between an almost unknown product, Iron Wheel, and another nearly unknown product, Bay Street Spirits. What did you accomplish? My answer would be, I didn't accomplish much of anything, I suppose. All right, anyway, but Seagram 7 Crown, that's not going to be an accomplishment either because there's no way it's going to lose. So get ready in 2 days. I'm telling you already, it's going to win. It's going to be so far removed from a competition that it's going to be laughable. I'm telling you now, there is no way Seagram 7 Crown, or as most people call it, Seagram 7, will lose Saturday. I promise you that. That's an impossibility. It cannot happen. I also have the Seagram 7 Apple. Haven't tried it, but when I tell you what I paid for it, you're going to claim I'm lying. And you're going to say you're lying. That's a lie. I can prove that I'm not lying, and I have people that were witness on my behalf because they bought the bottle. When they saw the price, they bought bottles of it, and they told me it's good. They put it in the freezer. Oh, no, the guy Chris told me put it over ice. He was like, oh, yeah, it was really good. We were drinking at my mother's birthday party, you know, so forth. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Seagram 7 Apple. All right, y'all take care.